The first thing we want to talk about when it comes to being a successful dad is to understand that successful dads are growing. Here's the truth about growth. You never stop growing in your life. No matter how smart you get, no matter how old you are, you always have to keep growing. And when you think about it, it's true. Like your growth as a man doesn't stop when you get married. You know, when we all got married, we didn't just stop and say, okay, I'm done. When we get married, we start growing even more. We don't quit life. We actually engage in life more. It challenges us more. We have new dimensions of life, new depths of relationship. And there are adjustments and changes and realities. And the reality is we're not alone anymore. We've got someone else living with us. So we have to consider them, think about them. And that opens up our mind and it causes us to grow. It causes us to mature and be better as men. In fact, marriage is one of the best things a man can do to better himself, because he's going to get better when he's around other people, and it's going to force him to grow and make him grow in a good way. And the same thing happens with our kids. Our growth as men doesn't stop when we have kids. There's kind of this negative attitude toward kids that's happening today. You know, oh, when you have kids, that's the end. No more fun, no more this, no more that. You know, when you have kids, all the fun in life stops. That's just a lie. It's a lie that too many of us have bought. We've allowed the society to tell us that. Kids are great. Kids add depth and meaning and richness to your life that you never knew you were missing as a man. They open up new things to you. They open up new worlds to you. They motivate you. They empower you in so many ways. You say, well, you know, when they're a baby, they keep me up at night. Well, okay, they keep you up at night. Is that really a big deal in the long term? You have a life that you can pour into and change. I know so many men that when they had children, everything changed for them. When they had kids, they began to see that, okay, I've got to be a better man. And you know what? Kids made them better. Kids are great for men. And what we have to do as men is understand that having kids doesn't stop us. It actually takes us to another level. It actually increases our ability to be great men. So don't run away from that. You should embrace being a dad. You should embrace being a father. Understand that having children will change you in so many positive ways. But you have to have a growth mindset. You have to say, I want to grow. And what you want to do is develop some attitudes that kind of help you in that. So what are some of the growth mindsets? Well, we're going to cover 3 quick attitudes that you need to have. One is understand that growth is incremental. Growth is something that's going to happen over time. Real sustained growth, the kind that you keep doing, is made one step at a time. Even people who make radical changes in their life usually started with one simple change. They said, I'm going to change this area of my life. And that began a process of change over their whole life. You hear stories of people who maybe lost hundreds of pounds or became millionaires. And they said, it all started at this moment, or when I began to change this, everything changed. And a lot of men sometimes think that fixing things in their life means having to fix everything at once. I'm going to fix everything. Well, that's unrealistic. What you have to do is say, I'm going to begin to fix things. I'm going to begin to grow. I'm going to begin to change one step at a time. And as you do that, you'll find yourself able to change more and more. It just happens to all men. Let's start with one area. Pick one thing. In fact, in episode 153 and 154, Kyle talked about this in our interview with him. He's from Superhuman Fathers. And what he did is he began to change his physical life. He began to get in shape. He started a health change. But what that did was it opened up other areas of his life. He began to say, okay, I want to have a better relationship with my wife. I want to have a better relationship with my kids. So he began to pursue those things with the same intensity he brought to his health change. What was he doing? He was growing. He was taking responsibility in one area, and it was opening him up to the other areas in his life. That's the power of growth. And we have to understand that growth is incremental. The second thing is growth is self-motivated. You won't grow if you don't want to. You won't. I just had a comment on one of my YouTube videos, and they said that you have to want to change. And it's obvious you do. Change only starts when you want it. You have to want it. You have to want to grow. Accountability is a great thing, people challenging you, but nagging is actually the opposite of that. And a lot of men think, I need someone to nag me. I need someone to push me. Well, nagging gets old and nobody likes it after a while. Nobody wants to be nagged. Now, you do want to be challenged, and every man should have brothers in his life who challenge him and push him to be better. But you don't want people who nag you. You know, if there's a man who marries a woman and says, I want you to push me to make me better, what he's saying is, I want you to be my mom, which is weird. And what he does is he thinks, I want you to push me, which means I'm giving you permission to nag me. And that's not going to work. It's going to hurt the relationship. You have to want to change yourself. You have to bring people in your life who will hold you accountable, which is different from nagging. And what we have to do is understand, to get someone else to motivate us, that's unfair for them. And it's going to make us resent them. You've got to be self-motivated. You have to want to grow. It doesn't mean you always want to do what you need to do, but you have to want it. You have to want to change. Now, motivation will come, but desire and feelings a lot of times follow our decisions. We make the decisions. I want to do this. And eventually the feelings come as you've made the decision over and over. But your change has to be self-motivated. You've got to have that desire to change, and that will motivate you when you meet challenges, when you have setbacks. All of those things will happen in life, and that's where you have to be self-motivated. The other thing we have to understand about growth is uncomfortable. Doing new things and doing hard things is tough. It won't come easy, and it makes us uncomfortable. It just does. Now, kids learn things easier because they know they're learning. And kids are willing to mess up, to try new things, to pay the price. Adults, especially as we get older, we get less comfortable with that. We don't like feeling stupid. We don't like going, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm ignorant. And so what do? A lot of times we back off from learning new things. You know, it's like smartphones. When smartphones first came out, a lot of people avoided them for years because they were scared of them. They were scared of learning something new. And we've got to understand that learning new things is just that. It's new. You've never done it that way before. And what you have to do is embrace a certain amount of uncomfortableness in your life. You have to understand that if you want to grow as a man, that means you got to be willing to be uncomfortable. But if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to grow and push through, it will make you a better man. And successful dads are men who are growing. And what we have to do as men is embrace that frontier feeling. I'm going into new territory. I'm doing something I've never done before. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. You're going to mess up? Probably. But you know what? You're going into a new place you've never been before. And that means you're going to grow. The truth is, if you grow as a man, you will grow as a dad. When you grow yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you're automatically going to be a better dad. That's one of the best things you can do to be a better dad, is just be a better man. Grow as a man. And remember, the goal is not to be a perfect father. The goal is to be a dad who gets better step by step and day by day.